Geostories can help you tell powerful stories in an easy to grasp and engaging way. Geostories can take a reader through a sequence of maps, data visualizations, and written commentary. In this tutorial, we'll show you how to build a basic geostory, building off the map we created in the video tutorial on maps. To begin, click on the Geostories webpage and go to Create Geostory. Now we'll go ahead and enter a title for our geostory at the top. So we're going to call this The Impacts of New Oil and Gas Pipelines in Sub-Saharan Africa. We'll select the text and we will center align it, and we'll make the text box smaller. Now we're going to go ahead and click the pencil icon to add a background to our title banner. And once we've selected the image, we can resize it to make it bigger or smaller, both vertically or horizontally. Now before we proceed, let's go ahead and save the file by going to Resource, then Save As, and then let's enter a file name. So we'll call this Example Impacts of New Pipelines in Sub-Saharan Africa. We'll copy this and put it into the description for now, and then we'll save the file. Now that the file is saved, we'll go ahead and continue editing by clicking again on the pencil icon in the left-hand corner, and we'll add a new paragraph section by clicking on the plus sign at the bottom of the screen. We'll add a short description of what this geostory discusses. And then again, we'll go to the plus sign at the bottom of the screen, and now we're going to add an immersive section. And this can include a map. So we'll go ahead again to our media dialog box, and we'll add the map that we had previously created. And we'll click Apply. Now in this map, I'm going to show this in two parts. So in the first part, we'll only show the gas and oil pipelines. So let's uncheck the large world lakes and protected areas. In our text box, we'll add a short description describing the map. And then we'll add another section that shows the legend. So here we're going to show the various lines on our map, which include operating pipelines, proposed pipelines, and pipelines currently under construction. Now users can also add an image of a legend, but here we're just going to make our own, and we'll color code the text according to what they look like in the map. So operating pipelines are black, proposed pipelines are red, and pipelines under construction are orange. We'll go ahead and change the closeness of the text size, and we'll add the source of the map at the bottom. We'll add another section to our geostory, another immersive map. So we'll again go back to our media dialog box, select the map that we'd like to add, click Apply, and this time around we are going to keep all the content on the map. And like before, we'll add some text describing this map, which shows how the how the pipelines intersect with various protected areas and large water bodies. And again, we're going to add a legend. Because we are using polygons rather than lines, we're going to select it and we're going to add a highlight on the text to kind of show that it's filled in. So we can see that here. We'll again use a lighter blue color to show the water bodies. We'll highlight. We'll change the text color and we'll add a highlight. We'll change the font. And now we'll add the data source at the bottom. And we'll make some changes to the text size and customize it a bit more. Okay, now we'll go ahead and add our next section. Now after this, let's go ahead and add a banner section, which is basically like a divider between various sections. And so we can add an image. We'll use the GeoNode sample files in this situation. So let's go ahead and pick a picture, pick apply, and again, we'll change the height of the image. And we'll add some text below this image, which describes the next section. Now we're going to add something a bit different. This is a geocarousel. And a geocarousel allows you to tell a few different stories, like a slideshow. So here we're going to zoom into a few pipelines and describe them a bit more. We'll add a marker by clicking on the marker button in the bottom. And we're going to add a marker for the pipeline that we'd like to investigate a bit further. And if you click on the pipeline, you can see its name. And this is called the Tazema oil pipeline. And we can see that this pipeline, it runs through a few protected areas. So it runs through the Selous Game Reserve in Tanzania, as well as the Chisomo Game Management Reserve or Game Management Area in Zambia, and a few others. So when users look at this image, they can also click on it and see the same things that you're seeing. Next, we'll add some text, again describing this pipeline, describing the fact that it's going through these protected areas to kind of tell that story. We'll go ahead and make the font a bit smaller so that it fits on the page. And then we'll add a name for this. So we'll click on the where it says Geocarousel. We want to change that to say the Tizama oil pipeline so that users can click on that at the bottom. Now we'll add another image to our carousel. And this time we can go ahead and select another pipeline we'd like to look at in more detail. And again, we can put our marker on the pipeline that we're interested in highlighting in our carousel. And again, we can click on the pipeline and see the details. In this case, this is a Trans-Sahara gas pipeline, and it goes through a few very important protected areas. So again, let's go ahead and add some text describing this image in our geocarousel. Change the font to make it fit. And then again, we'll change the title of this image from item 2 to the Trans-Sahara gas pipeline. We'll add these two for now, and we'll move on to the next section of our Geostory. We'll add another banner image to separate the sections. And then click the plus button at the bottom to add our final section, which again is a paragraph. And now we'll add some more text, which includes hyperlinks. So we can click on the hyperlink, add the link, make sure to select that it's an external link. You can also link to text within the Geostory or sections within the Geostory. And yeah, that's it for now. Then you can click on the button at the top to preview your Geostory. So we can go through it. We can see we have the first map, then we have the second map, we have our banner, then we have our carousel. You can click through the different elements using the arrow button, another banner, and our final text. And let's be sure to save. And that's it. Thank you.